Hi, good morning. I wanted to come on again on this Wednesday and do a, sorry, I all of a sudden feel tongue-tied. I don't know what the hell's happening. I wanted to come on here and do a reading for us for the solstice. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's the winter solstice tomorrow. And it's really a potent time if you're a spiritual person or a person that likes to be connected to the changing of the seasons and the cycles of the sun and the moon and everything like that. So I figured I would do a Gift of the Magi layout since it's the right season for the layout that I made up. So this question is going to be about as the solstice approaches and our new year in terms of the Western Roman calendar approaches. Talk to us about the journey maybe that you've been on this year, and where you're headed on your journey. That's going to be, I don't need to shuffle these are the layout itself, but what's your journey been this year? How has it been for you to make it through 2023? Is there anything you would like to know about or see reflected here? Let's invite it to show up. This is the Gift of the Magi spread that I created. I don't know if it's going to show up here on the, looks like the camera might be cutting it off a little bit. But I did post a short of the layout and how to lay it out and what it is actually, and I'll be speaking to that here as well with this layout because I'm proud of it. I like it. I'm obsessed with the Magi this season in particular. They just have really been in my psyche a lot. Who were the Magi? What were they doing? What was that journey like? All of that. So it inspired this layout, and I'm grateful to those old stories of our ancestors. For some of us. So here we are with the layout. So tell us about the journey that you've been on and what is important for you to understand about the journey. It doesn't necessarily mean that the journey is over. I'm not asking about the past, but it is approaching a year end in the Roman calendar. So let's maybe put that kind of context to it, or the wheel of the year, the solstice energy. My rooster Friendly, who is not so friendly. He seemed like he was going to be very friendly to me, and I tried to make sure I really held him a lot to keep him to be sweet with me, and it didn't really work. He definitely tries to police me whenever I'm outside, and it looks like right now he's crowing outside my door because he's wants me to know that he's in charge. So tell us about a journey. What's important for you? What's the light to shine on your journey with the returning of the light of the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere? Tell us about your journey. Gosh, now my cat's getting in on it. So for this layout, for the journey, we have one major arcana card, and it's the World card. So that's a lovely card to show up at a time of transition, like what we're asking about, a transition point on your journey as we approach the winter solstice. Let's pause and reflect and shine the light of the returning sun onto this journey. And the card representing the past for you is the card of the World. And so you've been working towards creating a new life, a life that is not a continuation of it's not necessarily the kind of life of like, I've been working towards this. And like, for example, if you're in a job and you're working towards a promotion, this is a little bit different. This is sort of like, I want to leave behind the job and do something entirely new. This would be a different way of looking at what you've wanted for yourself, which is, I want a new, entirely new reality almost. Like, I want to reinvent myself. I want to have a new life. And that's the journey that you initiated in your young phase, or the past of the journey, right? You had the fire behind you to do it, and you've initiated this at some point, probably, maybe or maybe not, but often for a lot of people it might be within the last year, in 2023. The present moment is that you might be, we'll get some clarity on this card. It's the Seven of Swords. So you might be working in a little bit of a covert way towards this change. And again, I know I keep thinking about a work reference. I don't know if this is going to apply to you for work. But if you want an entirely new reality for yourself, and you're not necessarily on a promotion trajectory at work, you might be keeping this kind of a secret, because it's not necessarily to your advantage in the employment world to be blasting everywhere, I'm going to leave all this behind and reinvent myself. And I'm working on that right now. Like, that's the kind of thing you often want to keep to yourself. You don't necessarily want your employer and your colleagues to know that. And that can be true in your personal world as well. Like, let's say you've realized you need to make some pretty significant changes in relationships. There might be times where it's not beneficial to you to let those people in on that. I can think of, if it's somebody who might be sort of abusive or controlling of you, you might be working on the down low to make changes that are going to take you out of that situation, and it's not to your advantage for that person to know, right? So that's the present energy, is that you might be feeling that you're needing to work a little bit in secret. You might also be feeling uneasy about like trickster type energy. A thief can be kind of a trickster, where he can have a positive or negative face depending on the company he's in, depending on the context, right? A trickster is a teacher, but it's sometimes they'll teach you through a painful lesson, right? Like, I thought you were going to be everything I ever dreamed, and then it turned out you were not that at all, right? And you were deceiving me, for example. So sometimes a trickster is a difficult lesson. Sometimes a trickster is a joyful lesson, right? So in any case, there's some element of trickster energy here. Either you're in the trickster energy yourself, or you might be uneasy about someone around you that you're trying to avoid having a theft of your resource or your energy in some way, right? We'll pull a clarifier if we need to. Where things are going is that you're really generating a lot of self-reliant energy for yourself towards creating this new world. And that's a healthy energy to be in. Humans are communal creatures. We don't want to do everything in isolation, but there is something to be said for generating a success and a feeling of security and safety on your own, so that you know that it's within your grasp, and that you're not so reliant on those around you that you can't exist without them. I mean, somewhat that's unrealistic. We need each other to exist. Babies need nurturing and touch in order to thrive. It can literally be a fatal blow to a baby to not get the touch that they need, right? So we need community. But the energy is headed, and you are in a really stable place on your own. You're listening to your own guidance. You've got the material safety and security that you need. That's where the energy is headed, and it's generated by your fire that lit you to create a new world for yourself. You're well on your way, in other words. That's where this journey is headed. You're very well on your way to feeling secure on the journey that you took on. So that's a good thing. When you're on the fool's journey or the hero's journey, this is a nice place where you can stop and breathe for a minute and look around and say, I did it. Like, I'm succeeding in creating this new world for myself. That's what's on the horizon for you, is this understanding, and you may already be in that understanding. So it's a beautiful, I'm curious about this Seven of Swords though. So as we keep going, I'm going to want to pull clarifiers, I can tell. your current perspective is a little bit of conflict. You're in a little bit of conflict with this Five of Wands energy. So even though you've been generating this really healthy energy to keep creating this new life for yourself that you want, you might be distracted right now by some sort of conflict that's not worth your time. That's what I'm picking up in my first impression of the card here showing up and why it's showing up. It's the Five of Wands. You might be getting a little bit, although there might be also just some clever banter that you're in. It can also be a little bit playful, like a playful spark. I don't know. There's a couple different ways this card can read right here, but it's your current energy. It's where you're currently at and how you're perceiving this journey that you are on. And I'm kind of, again, feeling a little bit like there's some sort of conflict that's distracting you from your journey right now. An example of that from ancient myth might be the sirens on the island that are trying to lure the mariners into the sea to their death. I mean, this is very minimal energy compared to something like that. That was literally life and death in that story. And this is a little bit more like a different kind of distraction that's not quite so lethal, but it's a distraction nevertheless. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. There's also a little bit of feeling of fun though with it, honestly. This card can represent child's play, and sometimes it's a battle that's a little bit fun, like a battle of wits in a way that inspires both of you or all of you in the conversation, right? The magic or the unseen or the dream of yours that you're maybe not as conscious of right now, but that's the ongoing underlying dream and magic of this world you're trying to create is very beautiful. It's the Four of Wands. So it's you want something very harmonious, very blissful, very joyful. That might have been the new world that you're trying to create, is having come through a traumatic phase in life. And the underlying dream is that you want to come into a completion of that and into a period of joy and community and union, and maybe not so much this Nine of Pentacles of I'm good solo. Like, you'd like to have a completion of this journey that you've been on that is kind of the journey of a solo individual. The hero's journey is a quest within. It's a solo quest. Others might be a part of your quest, but really that's a solo journey of going within in an allegorical sense. And you are done with that period of independence and being on the solo journey. You'd like for this to come to a completion into the new world where you have this joyful communal wedding canopy, right? Or sense of union and harmony with others around you. This is a loner energy right now of the journey itself. And then the star and the sort of overlying message that's guiding you and that you should continue to follow is the Eight of Pentacles. So you're willing to do the work. You're willing to kind of buckle down and do your work in a humble way, but in a hardworking way to make this happen. And it's also seeming to me somewhat linked to the Seven of Swords, which is almost a little bit of working in secret. That's what I'm picking up here, maybe. So now I'm anxious to get into the meat of this and get some clarity on a couple things. Tell us more about the Seven of Swords in the present moment. Is this representing you and your need to kind of move like a thief? Like a cat burglar or a jewel thief, right? Like somebody who's got to move a little bit in secret with the world around them not quite knowing what they're up to. Is that you? Or are you uneasy about a trickster energy around you where you might not be sure if you're seeing clearly what's going on with the Seven of Swords? It could mean treachery, like you're facing some treacherous waters right now. Could be a negative aspect, adversarial energy. That could be, and then that links into this kind of child's play where it's not very serious, but it's adversarial nevertheless. I just did a reading on an adversarial relationship, sometimes known as a karmic relationship. That's posted. I just did that on, I think, Monday, if you want to check that out. It has kind of a twist to it. I wanted to help you know how to resolve a conflict with an adversary, and it turned out to be a relationship who doesn't perceive you as an adversary. So I thought that was interesting. What's the Seven of Swords here? Wow, really. So the Seven of Swords represents you, and you are working in secret in some way, and you're being guided to communicate and to move towards somebody from your heart. So the clarifiers here to the Seven of Swords are clarifying your present energy, which is a Knight of Wands, a Knight of Cups, and a Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is that world that you're trying to create, right? That's the world that you've been moving in somewhat secret or clandestine manner to create. But it's everything you want. It's an entirely new life for yourself. A Ten of Pentacles is like, this is everything, compared to a Nine of Pentacles, which is like, there's something missing. I've got it going on. I'm solid. I can do my work. I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm in a secure place. The Ten of Pentacles brings that to a completion, which is what you're desiring with this Four of Wands. You're desiring a completion of this cycle that you've been working hard on. The Ten of Pentacles is the reward of the Eight of Pentacles, which is the guiding star for this journey, is to keep doing your work. It's succeeding. And it's to come towards someone in love, or to come into a union between two journeyers, two knights. All of a sudden that just came through. This is a journey that you're wanting to link up with another person to begin the next phase of the journey with these two knights here. It's almost like the Rosicrucians or something is like the imagery I'm getting, which are spiritually, I sometimes hate to use this word spiritual warriors, because to me it links to like evangelicism, and I kind of am off put by that energy. But there are, in warrior culture, warrior is a spiritual pursuit. And so these are like two warriors coming together in this new world. That's what I'm seeing. Really, it's in the present. That's what you're manifesting. That's what it's a warrior of passion and a warrior of heart commitment. And I talked in another reading about when the sacral chakra and the heart chakra are in alignment. Like, I'm not a spiritual teacher. These are just things that I've come to know on my own path. I'm not trying to teach these concepts of chakras or anything. I'm not a guru. I'm not a spiritual teacher. I'm a card reader. I know where I belong, and it's in the realm of reading cards. I'm not trying to position myself here as some spiritual advisor. But what I'm seeing is that with these two knights, they represent the sacral chakra and the heart chakra. They're coming into a harmonized place that could be within you, where you're harmonizing these two elements within you. But what I'm seeing more is that this coming together in a partnership, it's a really beautiful partnership here that brings you everything you need, and you're willing to keep going. Now I want to see about the Five of Wands. What's the Five of Wands? You're perceiving a little bit of, that could be the spark, actually, when I was saying this might be a playful spark and not something more serious. I don't know. That could be between these two warriors here. The warriors is definitely in a archetypal alignment with the hero's journey that seems to be showing up here. I mean, I asked about a journey, so of course, but the hero's journey often involves like warfare, right? And conflict and getting through battle and such. And so these two knights showing up to me is indicating a partnership. But knights are passionate, so they might not always be harmonized. It's happening with this Five of Wands here. You'd like to move to calmer waters. You're not enjoying the conflict is what it's showing here. You're experiencing a conflict. It's important that you understand that it's not a very serious conflict. It is child's play. Nevertheless, you are not enjoying it and you don't want it. You're desiring to move to a calmer waters where there is no battle continuing here. You're very much hoping for that, and here's the star up here. This is the star card. That's your dream, is to move past trivial things, maybe, is kind of what I'm seeing here. Because trivial distractions take you off of your journey. That's kind of what I'm seeing. And you're really trying to stay focused on what you're hoping for and to move to calmer waters. You don't want to get stuck in these rapids or this sort of distraction from your main goal, is what I'm picking up. Yeah, which is to collaborate with this knight. You want to have this new world where you've joined up with these two warriors coming together to collaborate on this new world. That's what you want. You don't want to be distracted by this little, it's like a mini conflict or a mini distraction or something that's very trivial compared to what you're trying to create here on this journey. You're trying to create a new collaboration with this knight. That's what you're hoping for, and you want to just move to calmer waters right now and away from this distraction. What is the new world? Tell us more about this new world. The two knights, these two warriors coming together to create a sense of completeness and completion, the new life. What is it? What does the new life look like? What represents the new life? It looks like it's a partnership. These two sort of warrior energies coming together. The Empress, the King of Wands, and the Page of Swords. So what I'm seeing is that this is like the initiative phase of this new life. I sense from this Page of Swords, which is someone who moves behind the scenes, like a Seven of Swords might. A Page of Swords moves in quiet. He's not out there blasting, "I'm carrying secret messages if anyone wants to know what I'm doing." Pages are emissaries that move behind the scenes. A Page of Swords can be like a spy. And what I sense is that this thing that you're trying to initiate right now for you with this new partnership, these two warriors coming into union together, is that you want to initiate some form of communication between you and this other person, and you want it to be kind of stealth. That's what I see coming out here for you. Is there anything you should know about that? Is there anything you should know about? Your guiding light here is to just keep doing your work in not a super showy way. You're just working hard. The Eight of Pentacles is a careful worker. He's succeeding, but he's working in a careful way. In the Crowley deck, it's called Prudence, and the pentacles are shielded by these big, beautiful leaves. And it's kind of like protecting your work in that image. Protect what you're generating. You're generating this and you're trying to protect it, and I think that's why the secrecy is coming through here with the Page of Swords. So what was I asking? What else should you know about this new world, if anything? You're wanting to start harmonizing these two warrior energies through some type of like back channel communication or subtle initiation of the emissary back and forth of communicating. What else should you know about that? You're seeing clearly the Ace of Swords, which is also clarity for both people here. An Ace of Swords between these two knights is almost like you share the vision. You have clear vision right now about how you're working, and maybe that you still need to work in a quiet way that's a little bit behind the scenes or on the down low. I know I said that before, but it keeps coming out, like really keeping your cards close. Yeah, get ready for the new beginning that you're creating, the Fool. The Ace of Swords and the Fool are new beginnings from a point of clarity, from a point of understanding, from a point of clear communication, a balanced air element here. Really exciting. This Fool and the World are awesome together. Combined with this Four of Wands, really exciting. And the Nine of Swords. So the challenge here is that there's a little bit of doubt. You might have, so clarity might be hard won at times. Like when you know that you want to start the new beginning, you have the clarity to know that you want it, but there's something that might be getting in your way at times. It's nothing severe because it didn't come out as a major theme. It's coming out in quite a, you know, I'm asking for clarity. So, geez, where does this deck end? Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong. So my question here is, what's the Nine of Swords? You're succeeding on your journey. That's what's important for you to understand. There really are no warnings here so far. This Nine of Swords is like the first warning. The other warning is the Five of Wands, but you already know that. You're conscious of it, that you don't want to be distracted by conflicts that don't really matter, conflicts that are, you know, almost like trivial compared to what you really are envisioning for yourself. Like, don't get distracted by some adversary who's competing with you for something from your old life that you don't even care about, right? Like, if you can get easily sucked into competition, it might be something like that, like a distraction about something competitive in the current life that you're trying to leave behind. It's like, forget that competition. It's a distraction from what you don't even want the old life. So let go of the competitive vibe going from the old life and move into this new world. What's with the Nine of Swords here? What should you understand about the Nine of Swords? It's a lack of clarity. It's the doubts of the mind that are self-defeating, right? It's not necessarily, they don't reflect reality necessarily. They're not real battles you're going to have to fight. It's almost like something about the weapon in your mind, that Halsey song, like you have to recognize the weapon in your mind. That's the Nine of Swords, is the weapon in your own mind that can trip you up. Yeah, you just worry that you might fail because it's the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is here twice now, so that's a 10-10. You are working towards the Ten of Pentacles and you want to harmonize with this warrior that you see as your counterpart, right? That you see is going to bring you this new world. There's worries that you're going to fail at times. You're worried about losing the Ten of Pentacles. Almost maybe before it even gets off the ground, you're worried about killing it somehow. Good news. You're worried that whatever energy and momentum you have, you're going to lose somehow or fall back into a stagnation. So now I'm going to pull some overall messages for this spread, for your journey. So you've got some worries that you're going to end up hearing bad news that slows you down or that shows up as a block. Page of Wands is good news, but you have a worry about good news. So maybe you're worried that you're gonna hear something negative about this really beautiful thing you're trying to create, is what I think is happening here. What are some takeaways? What do you need to understand about this journey that you're trying to get off the ground here? It's important for you to know as we hit the solstice tomorrow. This is a great time to really go deep and go within and think about it, because the energy, the astrological energy, is behind you doing that kind of deep introspective work. Treasure Island, yes, love it. New life. Unfinished symphony. So new life, totally in harmony, right? Treasure Island, you want this abundant, beautiful So let's see what these cards say. You've worked hard and acted upon your unwavering belief in abundance, and suddenly, in the midst of it all, you hit the jackpot. You have uncovered the map to buried treasure and tapped the unlimited potential within you. What you must hone now is your ability to recognize when X marks the spot, because some of these golden opportunities may be obvious, but others may not be so readily apparent. Trust your intuition to light your way now as you enter this truly prosperous phase where all the long hard work and navigating your inner life, navigating the journey, is now paying off externally. In all aspects of your life at this time, you have good fortune. Don't forget to enjoy it and share it with others as treasure shared multiplies like magic. So awesome. I'm going to read the relationship. Excuse me. The relationship one as well, since this relationship with these two knights has shown up here. Your relationship is a treasure, providing even more than you need, but you may not see that right now, that Nine of Swords. No matter how long you've been together, or not in this case, because you're trying to come together with this person, you and your partner are always discovering hidden gems about yourselves and each other. Now is a time of discovery. Those two knights, that's a huge theme of discovery, of like the Rosicrucian Order knights. They were on quests of discovery, inner and outer. It's as if everything is in sync and everything is new again. Romance blooms and love is in the air. You can be assured that this partnership will bring you great gifts and valuable lessons, the Ten of Pentacles. Keep your heart open. The message of this card is to celebrate love and what it teaches you. Very exciting. So you've done your due diligence. Keep going is what it's saying here. New life, number 39. This is in the reverse, so let's see here. There might be some cautions about treacherous waters. Let's find out. You must acknowledge your inexperience and gently allow yourself to be like the delicate new bud opening. It's okay to admit you may not know something. You are at the beginning of things and haven't fully hit your stride. Be immersed in the newness of it all and don't try to rush the learning process. New life has its own timetable for maturity. Be here now. Life loves you. So that's a wonderful energy to try to channel through this solstice. My God, friendly is really popping off out there. And I'm telling you, he is not very friendly. I'm kind of intimidated to go outside. He'll move on soon, but he's really crowing it up on this reading. So just don't rush things. It's all coming. It's all arriving. All the work you're doing is beginning to pay off. It's going to yield things that are kind of almost beyond your dreams is what I'm seeing. Everything you want is within reach. It's happening. Just don't rush it. That's the warning of new life here. Don't try to force the bud to open. Allow it to open on its own energy and time frame. And then another 10 here, unfinished symphony. So this may be, let's see. It's in sequence with number 9. Now number 10. Oh wait, that's 9 from Treasure Island. Number 10. We had a 10-10 though, also with the 10 of Pentacles twice. And this came as a little bit of a caution too. When unfinished business casts a shadow over your life, it is a reminder that procrastination is a form of self-sabotage. It is not in your best interest to stall. And you're worried about stalling out. You're worried that this momentum that you've got going right now is going to stall out with this Four of Cups right here. That's the relationship. And I just drew this Four of Cups. So it totally ties into that. Stalling out, being ungrateful, defeating yourself before you get going because you can't get over your self-defeating thoughts, right? It is not in your best interest to stall. Even stumbling forward is better than holding back. Keep going on your journey. Keep doing the work that you've built the momentum. It's here. If you stall out, it signals jeopardy. Even stumbling forward is better than holding back. Don't overthink things or let yourself get distracted. God, I love cards. So 5 of Wands, distractions. You're aware you don't want to be distracted. You also want to, don't let your thoughts get the best of you and your worries about losing this, because all of the work that you've done is created what is coming for you is yours. You're not going to lose it. Don't overthink things or let yourself get distracted. Just tie up any loose ends and deliver the results. Don't quit before the finish line. Spirit wants you to win. I love it. Really beautiful reading. I hope this gives you lots of hope. The star is here twice, 3 tens. This new life, clarity. When you start to have a lot of doubt or think maybe you shouldn't move forward, that is unclear thoughts. That's what this layout is saying. It's practically screaming it at you. Do not get sucked under by your worries. No, recognize them for what there are. They just worries, and release them. However way you do that. I wouldn't recommend doing it like get hammered or, release it, turn it over to God or something like that, right? Like challenge your worry thoughts, understand where they're coming from. Maybe a traumatized background that you're trying to leave behind. They don't have a place in this new thing that you're creating. So it's really super beautiful. I congratulate you on this journey because it truly seems like a hero's journey. It's been an ambition and a desire within you to create this total change that brings in all of the joy that you may have felt absent in your life until this point, or at least in this last phase of your life. It's all coming. I'm so happy for you. So before Friendly drives me crazy anymore, I'm going to end this because I'm distracted by his crowing. And maybe there's a message in here about his crowing for somebody. I mean, a rooster is a fearless defender of his flock. We have very little problem with anything predating our hens now that we have these 2 aggro roosters. I don't know how we ended up with 2 on this land, but we did. Just like we have 2 aggro, oh man, like these 2 warriors. How funny. So we have these 2 aggro drakes on our land that have created all kinds of chaos. We meant to get a male and a female and ended up with 2 drakes. And drakes are aggressive birds. They don't fuck around. And they create a lot of chaos out here, especially for our hens. Then by complete fluke, unintentionally, we ended up with 2 roosters. So it's like these 2 roosters showed up to even out these 2 drakes' aggression. But the 2 roosters are pretty aggressive towards me. So somehow it's funny. And now here's these 2 knights. It's like, I think this is like my little tarot guides or spirit teasing us a little bit and encouraging us to have fun and be excited, because this is all going to happen. And we don't understand the ways everything works. Like I was just saying the other day, like, why did I keep having these 2 aggressive males show up in my life? And I have 2 aggressive males that I dwell with in my home, my cat and my bird. They're both aggressive males. And I have these 2 I don't know what it is, but it's bringing me some laughter at the end of this. So I hope it brings you laughter too. It's pretty funny to think about. So happy solstice, happy new year. Happy holidays for this time of year. I'm sending you lots of love and deep respect for the journey you've been on.